So if you haven't seen this video floating around online yet, you are in for a wild ride. We're talking about a creator called Brett Fairley. So he posted a story time that went absolutely crazy with over 18 million views on TikTok. You might not remember Brett, but his partner is a nurse, Hadley, who nearly lost her job to another scandal last October, but we will touch on that a little bit later. Scandals everywhere. This whole saga is over an hour long just on Brett's account. So if you want to hear the whole thing in its hour-long entirety, get yourself there. Okay, let's have a look.
I'm probably going to jail for this. I don't care. I've stayed quiet long enough. A few years ago, I agreed to be a sperm donor. She said she just wanted the baby and not a relationship. I was young and naive, and I trusted someone that I shouldn't have. When she told me she was pregnant, I congratulated her and moved to California. I thought that was the end of it. But then she started messaging my mom. She said she had no one, and she pressured us all to be at the birth. So we did. We were all at the birth. I signed the birth certificate, and I decided to be in the baby's life as a dad. I let her and the baby live in my Airbnb for free. I had to pay child support, and she took over $52,000 from me. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was being a dad. She started asking me to be a family, and when
Okay, let me read the messages here. All good. I'm going to stop by Popeyes after practice if you want something. Okay, I'm okay, thank you though. Okay, sorry if I seem something, just had the shittiest day. I want to try and make it work with us being a family. Can we do that? I want to be with you, Brett. I hate when you leave us. I just need you to say something or how you feel about that. He says, I'm sorry, but that isn't what I want to do. And she says, that hurts.
I refused. She called me a deadbeat online, and I stayed silent throughout it all. 2.5 years later, I decided to take 2 DNA tests. Both of them said the same thing. I was not the father.
Okay, so he was So he was a sperm donor. How did they do the sperm donation in? Was it like an official thing or was it not? Because Okay, I'm sure everything will be explained. But then she has $52,000 of his money.
I shared the results. She said that I was lying and that we tampered with the test.
Before you all start believing his shit, some company with her DNA, that could have been anyone's DNA.
She filed a restraining order. A judge silenced me and made me remove all my posts based on Maria's claim that I was actually the father. Here is the court-ordered DNA test that I had to request, and it confirmed again I am not the father. And while I was silent, she kept going. She was changing dates on photos, spinning stories, manipulating people online. Some people believed her. But while she was doing that, I was uncovering the truth. Connections, manipulations, lies, and the truth about who the real father is. This is just the beginning of Maria's web of lies. Here's part 2 of my side. Apparently, I've been in a full-blown relationship I wasn't even aware of. Maria and I had a one-night stand on December 12th, 2020. She was in her 30s and I had just turned 24. And let me say this slowly for the people in the back. We were never in a relationship. She wanted more and I didn't. So instead of taking the L, she turned it into a full-blown homie hopper. Like back to back. Wasn't even discreet about it. She just went down the roster like it was her job.
Okay, so what he's saying is here, she didn't like the fact that he didn't want to be with her, so she started sleeping with his friends. Good for her.
I guess the logic was, if I won't date her, maybe I'll change my mind after I watch her hook up with all my friends. Bold strategy. It didn't work.
Right.
And in case you think I'm still lying, her own cousin confirmed that we were never together. I'm sorry, Hadley. I know you hate this picture, but this is the time that Maria asked me to be a sperm donor. So she doesn't want to do IVF, and I'm convenient because we've already slept together once. She says she wants nothing from me, and instead of doing the smart thing and walking away, I said yes, because I was 24 and apparently thought the best use of my time was becoming a discount sperm donor for someone that I wasn't even texting back.
Okay, so the sperm donation was done through regular sexual intercourse. Okay, I see.
I was thinking with the wrong head, obviously. She said, no strings, no drama. I just want a baby. I was like, sounds easy enough, I can do that. I really thought I could just sleep with her and help her get pregnant. Then go back to business as usual. Like, thanks for stopping by.
That's crazy, because then you are actually, like, correct me if I'm wrong, legally, you legally are that child's father, so yes, you would have to pay, like, child support and stuff like that. Whether it's her word or not, someone might change their mind like this.
Good luck with the whole parenting thing. Top tier, dumbass behavior. I own that, I know it, but I genuinely believed her when she said it would be simple. No drama and no strings attached. That's not what happened. To California. While I'm there, I posed with another girl, Whitney. She's only a friend, but Maria didn't know that. Maybe she got jealous, I don't know, but what she did next will never cease to amaze me. On June 6, 2021, Maria gets her period. She knows I didn't get her pregnant, and she also knows I'm about to move across the country. So she invites me to brunch, and she tells me she's pregnant, fully knowing that she's not.
Wait, is this whole thing, is this like a whole book down here? Has he got a whole file with all this information in? This is his done digging. Okay, so he was going to move across the country. Maria was like, I don't want that because I want to be pregnant with your child, or I just want to be with you. So she tells him she's pregnant. Okay.
Then she starts drinking, like a lot. We then leave and go to another restaurant and meet up with my friend Dylan, and she also tells him that she's pregnant. Dylan and I think it's weird that she's drinking, but she insists it's okay. Here's the proof that this video is on June 6th.
Fuck this place, moving to California.
Like, hey, you didn't get a lemon in you.
Oh, fuck, wrong way.
This video is done, but it shows two things. Maria was drinking, and I made it very clear that I was leaving. And that's important because that brunch, that's the last time I ever saw her until the week before the baby was born. Here's how we found out that she was on her period when she told me she was pregnant. I then tell my girlfriend, who's a nurse, that she took that photo the day that she told me she was pregnant. And Hadley's like, hold up, there's no way. Let me see that ultrasound photo again. So we pull up the ultrasound that she sent my mom. The ultrasound was done on January 17th, 2022. And it showed that she was 32 weeks and 1 day. Okay. I've since learned that pregnancy is calculated from the first day of a woman's last menstrual period. And if we count back 32 weeks and 1 day from January 17th, 2022, we get June 6th, 2021, the day she told me she was pregnant. And we didn't sleep together that day either. Since she never saw me after that, that means that she knew from the beginning that I was never the father. Furthermore, here's proof that I'm in California the only weekend that she could have gotten pregnant.
I'm confused. Dates and times. I hope you got that because I lost it.
She trapped me before there was even a baby. And the crazy part, we probably would have never found out if she wouldn't have posted the photos. She exposed her own lie, and it only gets crazier from here.
Okay, so Brett agreed to become a sperm donor to this woman he had kind of just met, but who was around 10 years older than him, right? Before moving away to California. What could go wrong? That's insane. That's crazy. Also, he signed the birth certificate. So this woman, Maria, had arranged to get pregnant with Brett, but she told him that she was pregnant over drinks. They were drinking. So usually, Maria, when you're pregnant, you're not meant to drink, right? Also, we know right off the bat that this baby isn't Brett's. How could this possibly get worse, right? The courts don't seem to be on his side from what it seems like, but he seems to have proof or evidence. Listen, I'm not taking his side right away because we know what these videos are like. Things can change like in an instant.
July 22nd through July 26th, I was with my friend Whitney. She met my mom and she posted it on Facebook. Maria didn't know she was just a friend, and based on what happened next, I think she got jealous. Because not long after, Maria starts messaging my mom.
Hello?
Hey, Mama.
The night, I guess that we first met, I guess was that night at the half show. One of the first things after we introduced ourselves and sat down, I can remember her saying to me that she hoped that I didn't think that she took advantage of my son. And of course I gave a polite answer to that. We went on to discuss, and she mentioned, how I guess she was impressed with you to be so young and so successful at that age. I can remember her mentioning your house and all your toys.
From that point on, Maria started pulling my mom in deeper. She would ask for baby pictures of me, and she told my mom that baby's gonna look just like me. She made my mom feel important and needed, and when Maria told her that she had no one, my mom felt pressured to come to the birth.
She told me if something ever happens to her, I want you to raise the baby. And I just remember thinking that poor girl has no one.
By then, my family was in, they were planning to be at the birth, and I was about to be too. My mom tells me that Maria told her she has no one coming to the birth, no family, no support. She's scared, and she really wants me to be there. So I booked the flight on February 23rd, 2022, and it's $677. Wow. And I sent Maria the screenshot. By this time, Maria has already had 2 separate baby showers and never posted anything about it. Not one bump photo, nothing. And then a few hours after I booked my ticket, and on the same day that I sent her the screenshot confirming I was going to be at the birth. And at 8.5 months pregnant, that is the first time she ever posts that she's pregnant. And she uses my last name. She waited until I was fully in, and then she told the world. She didn't just lie, she made sure the lie had backup. The day the baby was born, I was there, and I was the first person to ever hold the baby. And I just remember thinking, this is what it feels like to become a dad. I didn't care about anything else.
I know there's probably a reason for it, but I find it so strange when they're like, take off your top and hold this baby. I know there's like a connection thing, but I'm like, it's so weird. Anyway, not judgment, I just think it's weird.
In that moment. My parents are there posting about how they're grandparents again. And then the nurse comes in and she brings in the forms for the birth certificate and the acknowledgement of paternity. I signed everything because I thought the baby was mine and Maria knew I wouldn't. After the birth, she scheduled a full-blown newborn photo shoot. She posed me holding the baby and they would jump in the photos. She had my dog in the photos too and had already ordered a bandana that said Big Brother. She shared the photos online, but I had no idea because I was already blocked on Facebook. She was posting pictures of me and the baby, making it look like we were this perfect little family. And while I'm across the country, she's messaging my childhood friends. She's asking my best friend Dylan and his girlfriend Megan to babysit, and they do. She starts asking my friends and family if they want to be the godparents. She didn't just ask 1 or 2 people, she told multiple friends they might be chosen. Literally.
Okay, so she's really getting every single person, oh, that dog, every single person who could be involved in this. The mum, the dad, of Dylan? Is his name Dylan? I'm so shit with names. All his friends being godparents, all this kind of stuff, which is normal, right? If this is in fact a baby within your family, if this baby belongs, is being born into your family, that's kind of normal. Does he know it's not his baby here? No, he doesn't. Okay, so at this time, it is all kind of normal.
This is what my brother posted of me, the baby, and my friends. He joked, the godparents who didn't make the cut. And Maria liked the picture. At first, she kept things peaceful and calm. It's like she didn't want to risk pushing me away too fast. Sure. Once I was settled into this nice little world she created for me, that's when she started to tighten her grip. And that's when the real abuse begins. But every time I didn't respond fast enough and give her what she wanted, she would use the baby against me. May 16th, 2022, she asked if her and the baby could stay in my Airbnb rent-free.
Where is he living? Can you get some furniture in your houses or your rooms? What's going on? The echo is crazy. Anyway, so she messages him. I'm going to have to lean in. Sorry. The baby and I need to stay in your house for like 2 months until I can get our own place and so that I can save a little more. I'm taking the position remote, which comes with a huge pay cut, but I won't have to put our daughter in daycare and I can be home with her. Looks like we're closing this property on June 9th in Metairie. I don't know what it is. So I'm hoping to be packed up and out of this apartment the weekend prior to the 9th. I'll put all my stuff in storage except our clothes. Can we stay there? And she's like pointing at us, kind of important for you to respond. You're deliberately ignoring me and it's extremely frustrating considering I'm asking you to put a roof over your daughter's head. If you don't want to help us, then...
I don't answer right away. A few hours later, she threatens to take the baby away from me, so I say yes.
If you don't want to help us, then let's see a lawyer and sign your rights over and let me legally remove you from her life. Otherwise, I can make you pay child support. Whatever you want to do, Brett. But when I'm asking you something that When I'm asking you something that concerns your daughter, I'd appreciate a response. Also, I don't ask you for money.
She moves in, I cover rent, utilities, internet, everything. After she moved out of the Airbnb, the control didn't stop. She texted me, this is what I want from you. She wanted me to start paying the full daycare amount, even though there was no court order in place. And in exchange, she said that I could have the baby every other weekend if I stay at my parents' house. I've never been arrested, I didn't use drugs, I've never been violent, abusive, or even raised my voice around her. There was no court ruling, no concern from a judge, nothing. It wasn't co-parenting, it was control. About a week later, she posted a photo on Instagram with the man that we now know is the dad. Just something to note, we'll get into that later. Then came the baptism. We talked about this in my first video, but here's a quick recap. I drove a 14-hour round trip just to be there. The night before, she asked me to come hang out. I said no, I didn't want to give her the wrong impression. So she told me I wasn't allowed to come to the baptism, just like that. I didn't fight it, I just let my parents go instead. I was just trying to keep the peace. By summer of 2023, things took another turn. Now it wasn't just emotional pressure, it was legal. I was overwhelmed and hiring an attorney felt too expensive. Plus, I had no reason to question paternity. Maria told me if I didn't just sign what her lawyer sent, she would take me to court and get $1,400 a month in child support and $16,000 in back pay. I felt trapped. In those same messages, she said that she didn't want to go in front of a judge. Looking back now, that feels important. I agreed to pay $750 a month and $10,000 in back child support just to avoid a legal battle. I didn't think I could win, so on August 21st, I wired her $10,000. You think that once the court order was in place, things would settle down, but they didn't. If anything, the control got worse. Less than 2 weeks later, she's calling me names, refusing to let me keep the baby overnight, and demanding more money again. Even simple visits came with strict conditions. When I tried to coordinate a time to see the baby, she laid out impossible rules for pickup and drop off. She told me exactly when, where, and how, and still refused overnight visits. She insulted.
Now, see, this would be okay. So I got a hair somewhere. No, sorry. This would be okay to me if he was, in fact, you know, abusive to her or something like this, or they had a really rough, not to the child, to her, this really rough relationship that he had to have supervised visits. She didn't want to see him, all this kind of stuff. But it seems like they had a reasonable relationship up until this point.
To me in one breath, demanded child support in the next. I gave her extra money, $30 here, $250 there, all outside the court order. I was trying to avoid conflict and trying to stay in the baby's life. Then out of nowhere, she texted me that she wants to be with me. I told her gently, again, that's not what I want. Days later, she posts photos of me and the baby at our house on Christmas morning, like we're a happy little family. By early 2024, it felt like there was no line that she wouldn't cross. February 1st, I make the court-ordered child support payment on time. On Valentine's Day, I posted this photo while I was out to dinner. I wasn't even in town, it wasn't my girlfriend, just a night out. Maria saw it and immediately started freaking out, texting that I should have taken the baby to dinner instead.
Okay, so she texts him this, and you know, it's fucking bizarre to me that you can flaunt your social life and this girl on social media, but there's literally nothing of your daughter. I hope she realizes how big of a loser you are. I tried not to say anything, but I feel like you need to know how much terrible you look. Something will remember, the name of a daughter, will remember you were never here. Could have taken your daughter out for Valentine's Day. I think that's weird, sorry. You're never here for her. Grow up soon, Brett. I won't hesitate to take her from you. Do better, be better. Aren't you separated?
I should have taken the baby to dinner instead. Then she said, keep this up and I won't let you see her anymore.
And you know it's... Oh, wait. I read it already. I'm not letting you make me feel like my daughter is not good enough for you anymore. I'm sick of it. I don't give a shit about your money. We can and will survive without you. You keep this up, Brett, and I will not let you see her anymore. Honestly, I wish you never came back into the picture. I am so over it. Have a great rest of your trip.
I sent her $100 for a Valentine's dinner for her and the baby, just trying to avoid another explosion. March 1st.
A baby doesn't need a fucking Valentine's dinner, sorry. I know it's nice to do things, but this isn't a big deal.
I pay again. $750 in support, plus $31 extra for dance class. Again, not court ordered. Just trying to keep the peace. Then she posted birthday photos, thanking our family and best friends for coming to celebrate. We don't share family or best friends. She just went out of her way to find my family and friends, message them, and inserted herself into every part of my life. I paid for the birthday party, $364, so she did need extra money. However, the next day, she demands the child support payment.
So she says, paid for it already. Please send that money when you can. Thank you. Why do I have to keep texting you about this? This is the shit that pisses me off. I try to get along with you, and you do shit like this. Stop intentionally ignoring me, or this co-parenting thing will never fucking work. Now please send me money. I have asked you to send 1,000,000 fucking times. Jesus fucking Christ.
26 days early. When I say no, she tells me to die and says I'll never see the baby again. The next day I sent her $156, not because I wanted to or was ordered to by the courts, because I felt like I didn't even have a choice anymore.
Wait, but he doesn't have to send her all this money. He has a court, what's it called? Child support. Yes, he can send money to his child for nice Valentine's Day meals, but like he doesn't have to do this. So legally, if they have gone through the court and she's like, I'm going to take away your child, she can't legally do that. It's not up to her. He's doing his part of the deal.
Then she posted even more birthday photos, this time at dinner with my family, like everything was normal. I guess because I paid her, she was happy. By this point, I was drained, financially, emotionally, mentally. She controlled when I could see the baby, how much I paid, what I was allowed to post, and how I lived my life. And every time I pushed back, she would punish me for it. It didn't matter how much I gave, she always wanted more. And I didn't think it could get worse. But then I met Hadley, and for the first time since meeting Maria, I was in a real relationship. An actual one, and it was serious.
Every bit ends with, and I didn't think it could get worse, but it fucking did. Okay, so after Maria saw that Brett was posting pictures with a woman online while he was in California, she went ahead and started to contact his mother, friends, and family. All this stuff like be the godparents, all this kind of stuff. Crazy. And the thing is, like, he was just a donor, right? So after she found her donor, she approached his family, unless she never planned on him just being a donor. You know what I mean? You know what they say, the best way to stay in a relationship is to have a child. Maria made this huge thing of Brett being there, which is, again, super odd considering she just wanted a donor. And to think, hypothetically, she wanted to have a child with no partner or support around her at all. That's all she wanted, right? Was a donor. So the first red flag there was definitely her posting the baby with his last name. You know, he never actually talks about why he decided to instantly take this baby in as his, though, or sign that form, sign the birth certificate, but he went from not wanting to be a part of it, just a donor, to yeah, now we're all part of it. Especially when she like approached his mum, and then he was like, hey, yeah, I want to be part of this baby's life now. So this woman went from just wanting to be a donor to roping this man and his entire family into her hospital room while she was giving birth, which is weird, and having him sign official documents stating that he is the father. This is strange. This is why we have actual legal protections for donors, basically, because like this could happen, you know what I mean? Did no one see that this was a huge red flag? You know, being like, I just want to be a donor, and then approaching the family and kind of almost not guilt tripping, because guilt tripping is the wrong word, but having to convince them to convince him almost to be part of a family. So somehow Brett decides to step up as the father towards this baby, right? So Brett goes over her behavior a lot. We skip over a lot of crazy texts that she sent him, because remember, we're doing like a condensed version of this because it's hours and hours of content, with her threatening to not let him see the baby and calling him a deadbeat. So even if his decision to randomly step up to be the father was odd, right? He did put in the effort. He traveled 14 hours at a time to see her, prematurely sending the child support that he did legally own because they went through the courts. So then she asked him to like become a couple, properly, and understandably he says no. So maybe this is where the story is going, right? Does she just want to be with him, and the baby was like a whole, this is how we're going to stay together, you know? She had to figure out a way to make that happen, a way to make him stay with her. So after him becoming a new dad, Maria slowly becoming more psychotic, I guess is a nice way to put it, and inserting herself into his family, into his friend's life, his dog's life. He goes on to meet his current partner, Hadley. So she went viral last October for her kids supposedly being put into care and changing DNA results on a paternity test. Although she did deny it at the time, we're about to learn a little bit more on what actually happened. Ooh, so much stuff going on in this. Here we go.
Nurses who built giant platforms on TikTok for being such amazing, kind people, they were narcissists too. Specifically, Hadley.
Girlfriend who was a nurse tampered with the test result, and Nurse Hadley lost custody of all her children.
Okay, I want to take a moment to address the people saying I'm a clout chaser for addressing this again. This became an entirely different battle for me when they attacked Hadley. When I originally shared my story to clear my name, Maria, through her cousin, came online and spread horrible lies about Hadley. They said that she lost custody of her kids, that she was a felon, and that she tampered with the DNA test. None of those things are true, but so many people believed it. I watched the person I love cry while strangers made videos about her. They review bombed her book without even reading it, and despite all of that, she still stood by me. So yes, I came with a literal binder of receipts. On June 8th, we spent the day with the baby, Hadley's kids, and some close friends. We played cornhole, we went to a birthday party, and even had dinner with friends that night. It was just a good day. But when Maria found out that the baby and I were at Hadley's house, she lost it. She texted my mom saying, I'll get the
So she texts her mum. The mum says she is with Brett. They are at Hadley's house right now. Maria then responds, Hadley, okay, he needs to start answering me when I ask about my child or he will not get her anymore. Does he plan on staying there? Please ask him to call me I will come and get my daughter. He does not get to play house with my daughter and not answer when I'm asking about my daughter. Daughter. How many times? The mum responds, I didn't know you had tried to reach him. I will text him, but he may be playing with her and not be looking at his phone. I don't know how long ago you text him.
Play house with their daughter. It's an interesting choice of words considering how the story ends. Maria demanded that I call her immediately or she's going to call the police. I had to leave the baby with Hadley and her friend to go to another room so I could calm Maria down. Soon after, I go on a bachelor trip that was planned months in advance. While I'm gone, Maria jumps on Facebook and has a full-blown meltdown. She says I'm absent from the baby's life and that I skipped town on Father's Day. I had just seen the baby a few days ago and already had a flight booked to be back on Father's Day. But reality doesn't stand a chance when Maria opened social media. Her post was public. No matter how many times she claimed.
Okay, let's read what it says. Sorry, I'm leaning in. Something in my heart will always hurt for the baby's name. I wish I had the choice to remove someone from her life so she doesn't have to experience the immense amount of pain she'll feel one day when she realizes someone who is supposed to be so important in her life is absent most of the time. One thing she'll never have to worry about is that I'll always show up for her and I will never make her feel half loved.
It was only friends and family. This little globe icon says otherwise. There's no way it was only her 5,000 close friends and family. Hadley saw it, her family saw it, probably half the state saw it. She called me a deadbeat. She said that I put my dick in anything that walks and accused me of shoving hot dogs down my throat for Instagram likes, which honestly was pretty funny. But the real kicker, she ends it with, the truth is coming out and I'm not afraid to share it to the public anymore. She's all about freedom of speech until someone else starts talking. Anyways, she doesn't answer my calls or texts on Father's Day, so I don't get to see the baby. I'm not even shocked at this point. Maria knew that if she could convince people that Hadley was a terrible person, the attention would shift off of her, and the truth wouldn't matter anymore. She wasn't trying to defend herself. She was just trying to take Hadley down because she was helping me. So if you're one of those people who helped them do it, you didn't just get it wrong. You helped abusers keep their power. I'll be waiting for an apology. Hadley had brought up DNA test, and me thinking court was imminent, I thought it was a good idea to go ahead and order it. So that weekend when I had the baby, I decided to do it. So me and Hadley are just laying on the couch, laughing about something, and that's when I get a notification. It's an email from Paternity Lab. After I open this email, I read it, and I think I'm reading it wrong, but I scan it 3 times, and I see 0%. I look at Hadley, and I say, I'm not the dad. And I just drop my phone. And she picks it up. And she says, you're reading it wrong. You know, she starts scanning it, you know, and zooming in. And I'm over here just with my hands over my head. She looked at me and she said, you're not the dad. And it just felt unreal. I felt shock. And I still have Maria harassing me and abusing me through messages when I know at this point that it's not my kid. I started telling friends and family, and everybody's in shock.
The probability of paternity is 0%. Bro!
Isn't that the most insane thing you've ever seen in your life? I hired a lawyer, and he said, do not contact Maria again until she's served. For the first few weeks, I was just sad, and then there was this moment. Hadley and I were just sitting there, and she kind of mumbled under her breath, I can't believe she called me a whore. And both of us just started dying laughing. This was the
I mean, you're not a whore just because you slept with a few people. You're a moron for pretending that someone else is the father of your child. I wouldn't say you're a whore.
First moment where I was like, small town, people start talking, and I start getting messages like this. I guess all of her friends always knew.
It says, the entire community of Ocean Springs knew and knows who the father of Maria Nigans? Sorry, I can't pronounce that child was from the get-go.
Knew who the real baby daddy was, but no one bothered.
Wait, yeah, so why did no one bother to tell him? I was going to say that.
And
why did
I was pissed.
Yeah.
In October, Maria gets served a lawsuit. But not before I heard the process server say this.
I've been down this road with her before. Yeah, who was the guy? He did some kind of swimming pool building or something that she was fooling around with.
Apparently she's been in lawsuits with men before. I had no idea. After she was served, I gave her plenty of time because I asked Hadley how she would react if her kid's dad served her with paperwork showing DNA results that he wasn't the dad. And Hadley said, I would immediately call him and tell him to get his down here and do another DNA test in front of me because I know they're his kids. But what does Maria do? For the first time ever, she's quiet. So I post my video to my 100 followers only to clear my name. I don't mention Hadley's name at all, and I keep the baby's identity hidden. Then the messages start rolling in. Shortly after, I'm served with a restraining order and they're...
So he didn't mention the name or the baby's name, and then suddenly everyone's like, Maria ruined my life, Maria did this to me.
Demanding I take down all my posts. And that's when they take the opportunity to start twisting the narrative online. And while I'm silenced for 6 months, I start unraveling the truth about everyone in Maria's web of lies.
Wow, okay, there's a lot. Okay, so just in case we're a little bit lost here, Maria becomes an issue. She wants to take him to court. They find out that he isn't the dad. So he has to go through legal stuff around that to separate himself as the father. So he gets lawyers involved and does official paternity tests. Maria gets him first and manages somehow to get a restraining order against him, and orders for him to take down all of his videos he's put on social media. Okay, so Maria's cousin spread all the lies about Hadley, about the children, about all this other stuff. She nearly lost her job over that. And as it was said in these videos, people made videos about it. It became this huge thing. The process server that Brett was working with to serve Maria some papers told him that she has pulled this stunt, whatever you want to call it, on other men before. Listen, are we going to get a Maria's point of view? Because I need to know the deal here.
First up on the list is Miss Vietnam. Ew.
You know who the fuck I am, bitch?
I do now.
My name is Michelle. I'm the former Miss Vietnam 2014.
Vietnam in the left corner.
Michelle claims to be Miss Vietnam 2014. An honorable title. I'm slightly confused though, because when you Google Miss Vietnam 2014, this person pops up. That's not you. Winning a prestigious title like that would come with at least one other pageant win. The current winner has been in many different pageants. So imagine my confusion when you posted that Miss Vietnam 2014 was your very first pageant ever. Huh. That's strange. I was able to find some news articles on it. Turns out it was a charity pageant in which you could self-appoint yourself to any country you wanted. You've never won a beauty pageant in your life. You came in 5th place in that pageant. And if you think it stops there, you're wrong. Michelle claims that she's a model with BMG. So let's call the LA office.
BMG?
Hey, I was calling to see if Michelle View was available for a photo shoot.
Do you mind kind of emailing this to us? I'm not finding her profile.
Yeah, what's your email? I'm gonna need the screenshot, email it to this person. Guess who's a liar?
Okay, so let's see if I got... It says, thanks for checking with us. We have no records of her in our system. Ooh.
I start digging into that. It's a picture of a plane and it says BMG models. I reverse image search the photo, and it's just a stock photo of a private jet on Google. So then I click on her publicist's website because apparently she told Hadley she's PR trained. So on her Facebook, you click on the link and it's a broken link. It's a GoDaddy.com saying nothing exists.
I forgot about the PR trained.
Let's get into the paparazzi photos. I find the website that photo is posted to of her at the nail salon with paparazzi up front. Turns out the guy who runs the website, he has his name underneath all the stock photos. Hadley finds his LinkedIn profile, and this man is paid to go take pictures of people, and they pretend that it's paparazzi. Her being a reality TV star, and this is, without a doubt, the worst thing I've ever put my eyes on.
I do MMA, baby. I was a professional MMA fighter.
Wait, is this her? Oh.
And if you think it stops there, it doesn't. We're about to move on to the next part of the web, and that one is titled, Don't Fuck with Hadley. We thought Amanda was just Maria's best friend, but then she tries to ruin our lives. Turns out, she's been protecting a secret that she knew from the very beginning. It wasn't just Amanda and Hadley's DMs, it was her husband Julian and mine too, threatening to fight me over a baby that wasn't even mine. She told Hadley that she was going to call the nursing board. She said that she was absolutely coming for her livelihood, and then bragged about making a TikTok just to expose Hadley's personal information. Hadley made one video, not to call anyone out, just to clear her name.
I'm ready to address this search bar that's been on all my videos. I did not lose custody of any of my kids, and none of them have a disability.
Then Maria says this and sends Hadley a cease and desist, just for defending herself. She never said Amanda's name, not once. But Amanda told her, "I'm not going to stop, period, take the video down." At this point, we stopped seeing Amanda and Julian just as Maria's loyal friends, because it really didn't make sense anymore. Why were they this personally invested?
Yeah.
Because we had the court-ordered DNA test back at this time. So why were they still going so hard over a lie? And just like we did with Maria's cousin Michelle, we went full FBI mode. We got quite the laugh out of these, and then we found this one. And that's when we realized that Julian and the guy that everybody's telling us is Maria's real baby daddy, they weren't just friends, they were business partners. We realized that when Maria got pregnant, that man was married with a baby at home, and in Mississippi, if your spouse can prove infidelity, they can take everything. The house, the kids, and the business. So if that ever came out, it wouldn't just be that guy's life falling apart. It would also be Julian and Amanda's too. So that's why they came after us. Not because we lied, because they always knew the truth. They weren't just defending a lie.
This is crazy.
They helped build it. And they've been trying to protect it ever since. And the deeper we dug, the more we realized this isn't even the whole story. Not even close.
I'm over it. Please stop. Please no more story. Okay, there's too much story. Okay, so Michelle is Maria's cousin, the one who was spreading like all those lies about Brett's partner, Hadley, along with Maria's friend, Amanda. So this man is doing a full-on investigation into his ex-baby mama and her entire family. So this Amanda girl, Maria's friend, her husband is business partners with the real baby's dad. Oh my god, this is like amazing. And the whole reason they started this like smear campaign on this creator and Hadley is because if it became official that the baby was his, Maria would take ownership of the business, and that could ruin it for her husband's business. I'm gonna pass out. So Amanda was never doing any of this because she was Maria's friend. Okay, before we go into the summary, the lazy version is that for some reason, Maria fooled Brett into becoming a dad. She has pulled this stunt or similar before. She has made over $50,000 from him. He finds out that he isn't the dad of the kid he was never even supposed to be involved with. Maria turns into a jealous psycho and gets her friends and family to ruin Brett and his partner, Hadley, online while he can't do anything about it. This Amanda woman has been playing 3D chess and getting in on ruining them in hopes that Maria manages to get him silenced again so that her husband doesn't lose his business to Maria. And Michelle is a fake celebrity. This whole thing is just insanely messy. We're still unsure on some of the facts, like why did he decide to play dad? Like why would Amanda be double-crossing her own friend? And what even is going on with the courts? Oh, okay. It's a lot. It is a lot. So we've just seen the quick version of all 8 parts of the story that Brett currently has posted. And it seems that he isn't done yet. I might have to go to his page and start from scratch and just be like, okay, let's get on this. Tell me what you think. Have you ever seen anything like this? This is insane. The things people will do for money is wild. Did you see the original Nurse Hadley stuff? I don't remember it. I don't think I remember it. So it's important when we talk about these things and when we're looking at these things to kind of take it all with a pinch of salt, because we're hearing a lot of one side. Not that I don't believe in, but as we've seen from this, crazy things can happen. You know what I mean? Crazy things can just switch like this. So let me know your thoughts down below. That was a wild one. Thank you for joining me. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.